Hi, I am Lilia, and I just beat Dark Souls 1 for the first time in my entire life. We got the chills. Oh my god, I won! Since it's so fresh in my mind, I really wanted to make a video talking about the game and my first impressions of it as a whole after just completing it. My impression of it is very different now after I finished the game versus when I started. And actually, when I started playing the game, I didn't actually really like it very much. You know what the problem is too, is that I just get really impatient because I have to replay this shit multiple times and the enemies come back every time. And I just get really sick of it. And I didn't think that I would be able to get into the game. I think this is a pretty common feeling about the Dark Souls series or the Souls series in general, because it's pretty hard to approach. It's a challenging series of games. So me being someone who doesn't normally play Souls games, it was quite a change for me to get into this game. I ended up absolutely adoring it. I got him this time. Yeah. Woo! I'm glad I decided to do that because it makes me feel good when I come back to the game and I can actually beat something. I am so glad that I let people convince me to play it. I want to talk about the aspects of the game that really impressed me, that made me kind of just label it one of the best games I've ever played to me personally. And by the way, I haven't played any other Souls games either. This is the only Souls game I've ever played. So I will be diving into Dark Souls 3 and 2 and Bloodborne and Elden Ring and even more beyond that. I'd like to play some of the older FromSoft games too, but I'm so in love with Dark Souls right now. The number one thing that impressed me right from the get-go was the level design. The immense levels and how they all interconnect, and you unlock doors to kind of, connect the areas together, but that only happens after you've unlocked another area. So it really feels like progress. It really feels like when you defeat a boss or you get a certain checkpoint, you find a hidden item like a key or something to unlock a door. You go up a ladder that's behind that locked door and you're like, oh, yeah, I know where I am. This leads back to Undeadburg or, someplace you've already been. And then from that point forward, you have an easier way to get around the map. Oh, I was right. Now we're going to go that way. Oh, yes. Okay. Definitely going back. It's not easy to design levels in games. And I think that aspect of Dark Souls is highly underappreciated because they just did such a phenomenal job. I want to go and look at the map of all the designs, in some kind of blueprint, just to see what the actual layout was. Hi, Editing Lilia here. I actually went and found a really cool render of a 3D map of Dark Souls. I'm not sure if it's 100% complete, but it's really cool. You can see all the different areas and how they connect, and there's some bosses are labeled. Here's where the final boss is, and I just think that's so cool. That connects, through here, and then up here is Firelink Shrine, and it's super cool. Sketchfab.com, made by this person. I mean, there's some stuff that's separate, but for the majority of the game, it's all interconnected. It's so flippin' cool, and it must have taken so much precision and time to plan all that and make it flow together nicely. So that was the number one thing that impressed me. Number two, even though I hated it sometimes, was the character design. There's so many times when I was playing the game, I was just like, WTF? Who the hell thought about making this monster? Whose idea was it to create this monstrosity? I absolutely hate it. What? 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 No! What the frick is this thing? But because I hated it, it was like an awe moment, like, wow, like this is so scary. I didn't think this game was going to be like a horror game, but it absolutely is. It's part horror, part RPG, part action, part, I don't know. It's just such a cool game. And I've never seen anything like it in any other game that I played. The armor was super cool too. The armor and weapon design was really awesome. But the monsters was really where it stood out. The bosses and the monsters, like, wow. Wow. And the environments too. Let's not forget the environments. Really beautiful. Oh, like horrifying. And they had its weak points too. But for the majority of the time, every time I entered a new area, I was like, whoa. I hate this. I don't want to be here. Or I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like when I got to Honor Rolando. Whoa, that's beautiful. And scary, but beautiful. I couldn't believe how cool it was. Because it's just, I don't know, it's so different. Every area and environment is just so different from the area before it. And so it really keeps things very interesting as you're playing through. And it, not only that, but it's really easy to distinguish one area from another area. Even if you forget the names of things, you still know where things are because you're like, oh yeah, it's like the forest area. Oh yeah, it's like the town, the undead town. Oh yeah, it's on Orlando, the pretty place. But yeah, really, really cool. Another high point, RPG elements. Well, they weren't as strong as some games, and at times it didn't feel like the leveling system and putting points and leveling up was making as much of a dramatic change each time than in other games. But in the long run, it really did make a lot of difference. And I think that it was really well done because it's done in such a way where, like, early on when you're learning to play, your points cost a lot less. So you can kind of screw up in the beginning a little bit and not really know what you're doing, and you won't really screw yourself over too bad. But, you know, it's still good to pick which way you're going to go and then go for it, but it doesn't penalize you too much for trying things out early on. And it's really good that it does that because the game gives you so many different types of weapons and armor, and there's so many things to choose from. It's absolutely nuts how many items there are in Dark Souls. I don't know. There's just something really special about how it's done. You know, you can have different item loadouts for different situations. Since there's no like actual encumbrance level, you can carry everything sort of magically in your pockets. And if you are fighting a boss that you keep failing at and you realize, oh, I need fire resist, I'm going to put on that set of fire resist gear that I just got, that I just like maybe I found in like a secret location. And I'm like, cool, this could be useful. Keep it in my magical pockets for later. And there's also like rings that you can equip to balance out other aspects. And you can just tweak your stats like for each fight, however you want to do it. The only thing that's hard to tweak is like which weapon you're using, which is a whole nother thing. The weapon upgrade system, so cool, really hard to figure out, especially when you get to the boss weapons. And that would maybe be like a small complaint that like I really didn't have a way to figure out what weapon I was going to make without accidentally wasting too much resources without looking it up. But Dark Souls is kind of a vague game, and so it really didn't bug me that much. I'm not gonna lie, the comment section helped me a lot in figuring out which, like, you know, high-end weapon I was gonna make. Although I didn't actually end up using that weapon. I made Queeleg's Fury Sword, but I actually didn't really end up using that one. I just used the Uchigatana all the way through my playthrough. I got that right in the beginning. I got it all on my own, on accident, and I used it the entire game, and it ended up being so much fun. I regret nothing. Horror. So many times in this game, I was shivering in my boots. I was so scared. Particularly, the first time I remember being absolutely terrified was when I was in that the sewers. And I can't remember the name of this boss now. The alligator chompy boss. When he came out of the sewer, And I was just in that big boss arena. I entered that thing and I was like, I know this is a boss. What the hell is it? And you see him like coming up over the little edge of the thing. And I was just like, what is it? Oh my God. And that was the first time I felt actually terrified. And then many times after that, when I was in the catacombs, it was really dark. I couldn't see anything. Also in New Londo. Oh my God. So creepy. Who's that? Oh, look at all, these are, oh my God, these are all bodies. Holy shit. That place, the entire thing was just very horror the whole time. And I thought the game did a really good job with that. Very spooky ghost. And it was just creepy. The atmosphere was so creepy. The music was creepy. I thought it was such a cool designed level. Boss mechanics. Some bosses were super cool. Ornstein and Smo, I think, was my favorite boss design. I think. I can't think of one that was better right off the top of my head. I really liked that one because it was 2 bosses in one, and there was 2 ways you could do it. You could kill Ornstein first, or you could kill Smo first. Depending on which one you killed first, the other one got really mad, and then you'd get different loot depending on which one, you killed last. That was so cool. There were so many boss mechanics that were very, very, very neat. However, in the long run, I did kind of discover just a way to totally kick most bosses' asses. And some bosses ended up being a little bit more pathetic than I would have liked in the long run when I leveled up my weapon and I figured out like the dodging a bit better and the timing of things. Once I did that, a lot of the bosses became a little bit trivial. But that really didn't happen for me until like halfway through the game. Combat precision. This should have been way higher on the list, actually. The precision in which you have to present yourself in combat is one of the most important things in Dark Souls, and it is the coolest thing in Dark Souls. It is the thing that makes the combat feel awesome. It just feels awesome when you dodge correctly or you block correctly, or you anticipate what the guy is going to do and you react perfectly and you kick his ass, especially when it's a creature or a boss that you got destroyed by earlier. Okay. Do not freaking get cocky ever. Do not get cocky. Okay? Not even right now. It's tempting. Don't do it. Make your move, big boy. Make your freaking move. Holy toots. Get away from that door. Yes! Yes! Eat it, you big jerk! Or that you were having a problem with, like a boss, or just when you start totally owning all the little guys in an area, it just feels really good. It's so satisfying and you feel like you're getting good. Literally. And that leads me to my next point, which is the feeling of accomplishment. Definitely ties together with boss mechanics and combat precision, both. Because the feeling of accomplishment in Dark Souls is like no other game I've ever played. And that has to do with the challenge of the game itself, but not only the combat challenge, the challenge of the whole game. Because part of the challenge of the game is actually getting through the environments and, unlocking the different ways to go and just progressing in the story. Every time I progress in the main story, for some reason, I just felt this overwhelming sense of accomplishment. Like, wow, I can't believe I completed this with how little information the game actually gave me on what I was supposed to do. I feel so good about myself. So it was just really, 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 really cool. I have never felt so happy to do small things in a video game ever before. The game has what I would like to call the perfect level of challenge for me personally. I know everyone is different and everyone likes different levels of challenge. in video games and in life in general. Personally, I really love challenge in games, not too much to where it's ridiculous, but challenge to where it takes work to work and knowledge and a little bit of skill to complete or get through, you know, the challenge that you're trying to face. In this case, it would be bosses or the environment or just the game itself in Dark Souls. Let's just assume that the actual boss is getting to the boss. I'm gonna go with that. When all hope is lost and you think there is no way to continue, just remember how ridiculous this game is and you will surely find victory. I felt when I was playing Dark Souls that whenever I approached a new boss or a new scary thing in the game that I didn't know what to do with, it was always confusing and a little bit like, ugh, at first. But I always was able to figure it out, and there was always a way for me to get past it, which was amazing. I loved it. The final thing I want to bring up is the lore of the game was done in such an awesome way. It was hidden lore. Most of it was just hidden within items you have to look at or in the environment or just piecing it together yourself after playing through bosses and killing dudes and like seeing the areas. And a lot of it is just completely who the heck knows. And it's hard to figure it out as you're playing along, but it's really interesting how they did that. Like, I love it and I hate it all at the same time because I want to know what's going on, but I also respect the fact that the game doesn't tell me what's going on for some reason. I don't know, it just makes it more interesting and mysterious, don't you think? Let me know what you guys think about Dark Souls and about my thoughts in the comments below. More Dark Souls videos to come very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel. I'll be back soon for more Souls. Bye-bye, friends.